ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुमितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मायं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी शभानुसुतदेवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्री वसादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. So today we will be revising Unit 18, chapters 20, 21, and 22, and then in our next class we'll revise chapters 23 and 24. For next week, although we do have the devotees lined up for 23, 24 chapter, I would recommend that the last block for chapter 24, verses 69 to 79, that Shalini is targeted to present. Shalini may be occupied. So one of you can please consider to do this as an additional presentation, or Srila Prabhu and Kalyani can just continue the presentation. Either way. And even if Shalini does the presentation, we can have two devotees do the same presentation. It doesn't hurt. So today we will start with Mother Jija for chapter 20.
Hare Krishna to all devotees. I offer my obeisances to our Jagat Guru, Srila Prabhupada Ji. I seek blessings from all the devotees. Kindly forgive me for any mistakes and shortcomings in my presentation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 4, Chapter 20, verses 1 to 22. Effects of material life is so strong that King Indra became envious of Prithu Maharaj. Indra made himself invisible like a mendicant and stole the sacrificial horse. People thought adharma to be dharma. Being very much satisfied by the 99 horse sacrifices, Lord Vishnu appeared at the sacrificial arena of Prithu Maharaj with King Indra. Indra, the king of heaven, came to meet Prithu Maharaj and asked for forgiveness. To ask for forgiveness is a great quality of a Vaishnava. Lord Vishnu instructs Prithu Maharaj about the Parampara system. Prithu Maharaj was trained in the Parampara system, so he was not an ordinary man. Lord Vishnu instructs that one should adopt the devotional means of hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, and offering everything to the Lord and engaging in the Lord's service. When the Lord is pleased with one's service, one's mission in life is fulfilled. A Krishna conscious devotee is considered liberated, although living in this material world, as the devotee is interested only in devotional service. Lord Vishnu instructs Prutu Maharaj that one must know that the soul is different from the body. The body is changing at every moment, but the soul is fixed. Therefore, the soul is called Kathastham. Prutu Maharaj accepted the Lord's instruction with great care, attention, and respect. Arjuna fought the battle of Kurukshetra under the direct order of Sri Krishna. Prutu Maharaj receives direct instruction from Lord Vishnu and also is given orders regarding the execution of his duties. Lord Vishnu advised Prutu Maharaj that a king should not give up his responsibility of protecting his prajas and go to the Himalayas for liberation. The king's royal duty is to see that the prajas are doing their duties for spiritual salvation, develop sense of God consciousness. If there is Krishna consciousness in this world, there will be no famine or natural disturbances. Maharaja Yudhishthira made his citizens Krishna conscious. So he was worthy to rule over the mass of people. Every parent also must make his children Krishna conscious. Lord Vishnu advised Prutu Maharaj to follow instructions in the parampara system. That is, one should receive the knowledge as passed down from spiritual master to disciple. There are 26 good qualities a devotee must have. A few good qualities are: he must be kind, simple, peaceful, self-control, humble, respectable, compassionate, friendly, and completely attached to Sri Krishna. King Indra wanted to fall down at the lotus feet of Prutu Maharaj, but instead Prutu Maharaj embraced King Indra. Prutu Maharaj was a magnanimous Vaishnava. Both of them forgot the past incident. Offering respect to a Vaishnava means offering respect to Lord Vishnu. A Vaishnava sees the body as the temple of Lord Vishnu and is always respectful to everyone. Being Krishna conscious, one's anger, rivalry, competition, envy can be adjusted without difficulty. Lord Vishnu was just about to leave, but because the Lord was greatly inclined towards the behavior of Prutu Maharaj, Lord Vishnu did not depart. Prutu Maharaj, being an empowered incarnation of the Lord, is referred as Adi Raja. Out of affection for Prutu Maharaj, Lord Vishnu touched the earth but rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, his carrier, as if to prevent himself from falling down. Since the Lord is not accustomed to stand on the earthly ground, then Prutu Maharaj offered prayers and obeisances to Lord Vishnu. Today, the world needs rulers like Prutu Maharaj. At the present moment, the world is full of constant tension, war, and anxiety. Large-scale quarrels over less important issue. The only solution to avoid disaster is to become completely free from sinful activities. Become Krishna conscious. If we become Krishna conscious, then lust, greed, the material disease of the people will be reduced. This world will be a better place in the present Kali Yuga. Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Good. Mother Chandra Aunty is next.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, all devotees. Dhanvanda Pranam. I seek permission and blessings from you all. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, Shri Radha and Krishna. Seeking permission and able to speak. Please forgive me for any mistakes. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, verse 23 to 38. Prayers of Prithu Maharaj and Lord leaves after offering benediction. Context. Lord appeared with Indra and asked Prithu Maharaj to forgive Indra. He said that an intelligent devotee will not take any action towards another devotee. This is how Jnana takes the body to the super soul and reaches bhakti to be free from birth and death. Prabhupada gives an analogy that the soul can remember Krishna while being in the body, just like a businessman carries out his business while traveling in his car. Prithu Maharaj knows that the Lord is known as Kaivalyapati, that is, he is the giver of liberation. The learned person asks for benediction by material modes to merge with the Lord. Prithu Maharaj does not seek that. He declares that true wealth is unwavering devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. He wants to serve the Lord for millions of years. And here is the unlimited glories, since hearing aligns the soul with its eternal constitutional position. The transcendental vibration comes from the pure devotee who always carries the aroma and the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord, and they remember the relationship with the Lord. Hence, for them, no other benediction is necessary. They pray not for wealth, power, or liberation, but for unalloyed devotional service, which is the highest form of prayer. So the Lord asks every human being to be awake from sleep and serve the Lord. By doing so, he takes the shelter of the Lord, hence establishing a direct connection with the saffron particles of the Lord's lotus feet. So King Prithu Maharaj is on the path of Dashya Rasa. Lord appreciated the meaning of prayer of Prithu Maharaj, said to him, do bhakti and protect the citizens, and assured him of spiritual perfection, then departed. This departure signifies trust and empowerment and not abandonment. A devotee does not lament separation, knowing that the Lord is present through his instructions. King Prithu Maharaj was overwhelmed with devotion and offered obeisances. Analogy: fire becomes visible when fuel is properly arranged. Similarly, when devotion is mature, the Lord's mercy naturally manifests. The conclusion is, bhakti is the most beneficial. The Lord may live physically, but his mercy and his guidance remains eternally present. These verses teaches us that Perfect devotion, free from material desire, attracts the Lord's eternal blessings and sets a perfect example for the leadership rooted in surrender. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Realizations for the presenters.
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji,
Sadastam, would you like to say a few words?
Sorry, what's your question?
Sadastam, Jija Mother, that soul, because it does not change, but body changes time to time.
Yeah.
So you would like to say something on Sadastam?
Yeah, so it's a fact that the soul is consistently staying as the soul. That's described in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, towards the end, that soul may be in a human body or soul is in animal body or whatever be the body form from 8.4 million. The soul does not get contaminated. The soul continues to remain pure. Uncle?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
All right, I will quickly summarize chapter 20. So Canto 4, Unit 18 is titled Prithu Maharaj Part 2, covers chapters 20 to 23. Chapter 20 is titled Lord Vishnu's Appearance in the Sacrificial Arena of Prithu Maharaj. In the previous chapter and the previous unit, when Indra disrupted Prithu Maharaj's sacrifice, then Prithu Maharaj agreed to Brahmaji's advice not to proceed with the 100th yajna because by Brahmaji's blessings, Prithu Maharaj will be more famous with the 99 yajnas. And Prithu Maharaj's yajna are better because Vishnu himself, together with Brahmaji, Shiva, and other personalities, appeared at Prithu Maharaj's yajna. Brahmaji says the purpose of your incarnation, Prithu Maharaj, is to protect religious principles. Indra disrupted the sacrifice and dharma, and if you try to oppose Indra, Indra will continue to misuse his power and introduce even more religious irreligiosity. Not introduce religious, but introduce even more irreligious systems. Now, Lord Vishnu, who appeared at the sacrifice with Indra, first instructs Prithu Maharaj to forgive Indra, stating, an intelligent devotee does not take action against the soul or the body. If there is any discrepancy, the devotee forgives. Forgiveness is a quality of those who are advancing in spiritual knowledge. Lord is advising Prithu Maharaj to forgive Indra on the understanding that soul and body are different. The Lord explains that devotee has no malice towards others and that if you get carried away by Maya, then instead of advancing on the path of spirituality, you wasted your time. The jnana of the body, the soul, and the super soul leads to bhakti. An advanced devotee is never malicious to others and is always conscious that this material body is different from the soul. Devotees are never envious of the soul, nor of the activities of the soul under the influence of material nature. Devotee does not take action against the soul nor against the body. If there is any discrepancy, he forgives. Forgiveness is the quality of those who are advancing in spiritual knowledge. And because both Prithu Maharaj and Indra are devotees and advance on the spiritual path, it was very easy to adjust. Lord's next instruction is on detachment, that those who are in full knowledge of bodily concept of life, who know that this body is composed of nescience, desires, and activities resulting from illusion, do not become addicted to the body. Knowledge that conditioned soul is impure under the material modes and encaged in material qualities is not able to go everywhere as compared to the knowledge that super soul is pure without material qualities, is a reservoir of good qualities. Super soul is able to go everywhere. The result of this comparative knowledge is that one is unaffected by the modes, although situated in the body. The Swadharma for Grahastha is Karma Yoga. Purpose of material occupations should not be material gain. Rather, everyone should offer the results of his occupational activities to Supreme Lord. Devotional service is very simple and anyone can adopt it, regardless of one's occupational duty. One should adopt the devotional means of hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, and offering everything to the Lord and engaging in His services. This way, one can very easily engage himself in the service of the Lord. The result of practicing Swadharma is, first, the heart is cleansed and one attains peace. And second, one who understands soul to be superintendent of the body and senses is eligible for liberation. Lord gives 4 instructions to Prithu Maharaj. First, treat higher, intermediate, and lower entities with equality. Second, be equipoised in happiness and distress. Third, control your mind and senses. And fourth, protect your citizens. The real duty of king and why king should protect citizens is that, first, if king protects the citizens, the king gets 1/6 of the piety of the citizens. And second, if king does not protect the citizens will take king's piety and the king suffers the sins of the citizens. The benediction Prithu Maharaj asks from the Lord is that please give me 1,000,000 years to hear your glories coming from the heart of your pure devotees. Because Lord's glories are so many that one needs so many years to hear. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj asks, give me 1,000,000 years. 2 years are not enough to hear all the glories of the Lord. Prithu Maharaj then offers prayers to the Lord. Prithu Maharaj does not want to merge with Brahman effulgence because there is no service at Brahman effulgence. And he says, how can a learned person ask for benediction meant for those bewildered by material modes? Rather, Prithu Maharaj wants 1,000,000 years to hear Lord's glories from pure devotees. So Prithu Maharaj wants 1,000,000 years because there are unlimited talks of the Lord and he wants to hear them all. So why wanting to hear all the pastimes of the Lord? Is because hearing restores one's relationship with the Lord. Transcendental vibrations coming from pure devotees carry the aroma of the dust of Lord's lotus feet. By such hearing, the forgetful living entities remember their eternal relationship with Lord. Hence, other benedictions are not necessary. Only an animal can give up hearing the glories of the Lord. Prithu Maharaj is asking to serve the Lord is because all devotees request the benediction of service. Prithu Maharaj says, the Lord asking to ask for benediction and allurements you offer in Vedas are bewildering. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj says to the Lord that kindly bestow whatever you think is best for me. Because Prithu Maharaj requested for the most beneficial thing, therefore, the Lord awarded bhakti. Therefore, the conclusion is bhakti is the most beneficial. Lord appreciated the meaningful prayers of Prithu Maharaj, and then Lord leaves after offering his benedictions. I have a couple of analogies I did not mention, but they were nicely covered by Mother Jija and Mother Chandra Aunty. That's a quick presentation of chapter 20. Questions, comments, realizations. All right. Chandran Prabhu, 21 chapter.
Hare Krishna. All glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, and Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Seeking permission from Guru and Gauranka to speak on the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 21. I request the devotees assembled to forgive me for any shortcomings. My presentation will be instruction by Maharaja Prithu. There are 4 divisions. The first one, the citizens welcome Prithu Maharaja. King Prithu capital was decorated with highly opulent decorations to receive him. Decorations of fruits, flowers, grains, varied minerals, and lamps, all presented as auspicious paraphernalia. As the king entered the gate of the city, all the citizens received him with many auspicious articles. Conch shells and kettle drums were sounded. Priests chanted Vedic mantras and prayers. This ceremonial welcome has not at all affected him. The king very heartily bestowed upon them their desired blessings. King Prithu performed glorious activities in ruling the world and was magnanimous. All the kings and demigods on the various planets still follow his method of ruling. Vidura wanted to hear more about Prithu Maharaja from Maitreya. Second part, Maitreya Muni describes Prithu Maharaja rule, bodily features, and speech. Maitreya told Vidura that King Prithu lived between the 2 great rivers Ganges and Yamuna. He was directly empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, he was not subject to reactions of pious or impious activities. The king could not be disobeyed by anyone in the entire world. Prithu Maharaja has no control over the Brahmana, scholars in Vedic knowledge, nor over the Vaishnavas who are above Vedic knowledge. Once upon a time, King Prithu initiated the performance of a very great sacrifice in which saintly sages, Brahmanas, demigods from higher planetary systems, and great saintly kings known as Rajrishi participated. Maharaja Prithu worshipped all the respectable visitors according to their respective positions. King Prithu's body was tall and sturdy, complexion was fair, his arms were full and broad, eyes are as bright as the rising sun, his nose was straight, his face was very beautiful and graceful in nature. Maharaja Prithu was beautiful in his external body features, and his speech was also very graceful. glorious in all respects. His words were nicely composed in highly metaphorical ornamental language, were pleasing to hear, and were not only mellow but also very clearly understandable and without doubt or ambiguity. The third part, instructions of Prithu Maharaja to the citizens. In the assembly, Prithu Maharaja addressed the great souls, sages, and saintly persons in a humble, meek, and honest manner. Prithu Maharaja declared every man in his respective social order must have proper employment for his livelihood. That means in a Vedic social orders are Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, and Sudras. He guaranteed protection and food for all living entities. Once execution of his appointed duties is the ultimate satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. The gross ignorance is very dangerous and makes civilization risky. Prithu Maharaja requested the citizens to execute their duties as per Vedic Varnasrama, remembering Supreme Personality of Godhead at the center. This mercy upon King will be beneficial for the welfare of either of them after death. Prithu Maharaja was anxious to teach them how to become Krishna conscious. Reference is given in Bhagavad Gita 9.27. Whatever you do, you heed, you give in charity and do penances, you undergo should be done in Krishna consciousness to satisfy Supreme Personality of Godhead. By doing so, the government and people will escape out of punishment in next life. He has requested demigods, forefathers, and saintly persons to support his proposal. That will benefit everyone to be elevated with him. Everything living entity is meant to satisfy the Supreme Person of Godhead, performing his duty. Maharaja Prithu wanted to introduce all these systems amongst the citizens. Example, Arjuna, by executing his prescribed duty, satisfied Supreme Personality of Godhead. Likewise, King Prithu meant his citizens to follow all the systems. Bhagavad Gita 18.66 referred here or to surrender unto him by utilizing association with pure devotees, spiritual master, or authorized incarnations to escape out of sinful activities, like Prithu Maharaja saved by Lord Krishna's association. Prithu Maharaja considered his father, King Vena, character abominable because Vena was foolish regarding the execution of religious performances. King Vena did not believe in the existence of God. According to the Vedic literature, religion consists only of the codes of law given by God. Prithu Maharaja advises that everyone take shelter of Supreme Personal Godhead by surrendering unto him. One is immediately relieved of all sinful reactions by doing so. By practicing Bhakti Yoga, mind is cleansed and is no longer interested in material existence or in sense gratification. As in Bhagavad Gita 9.2, the science of devotional service is described as direct understanding of the principles of religions by realization. Prithu Maharaja advised his citizens to engage your mind, words, and body in their occupational duties, open-minded, and render devotional service to the Lord. Bhagavad Gita 9.32 affirms that if one engages seriously in devotional service, working with body, mind, and intelligence, he is sure to be successful in life and will go back to Godhead. Prithu Maharaja thanked the people in a humble way for engaging in devotional service, thus bestowing their mercy upon him. Part 4, Prithu Maharaja establishes the glories of Brahmana and Vaishnava. He explains how one can be steadily fixed in devotional service. A Vaishnava is learned Brahmana and is therefore designated as Brahmana Vaishnava. Brahmana Pandita or Vaishnava Brahmana. Brahmana is the highest in human society, but a Vaishnava is transcendental even to a Brahmana. Both are spiritually advanced. Brahmanical qualities are, as per the Bhagavad Gita, truth, it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, truthfulness, mental equanimity, control of senses, power of tolerance, simplicity, knowledge of absolute truth, faith in scriptures, and practical application in life. When fully engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord, he becomes Vaishnava. Prithu Maharaja warns his citizens to take care against offenses to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. The Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot tolerate such offenses. Even the princes and government, if they neglect them, they will also be punished and ruined. Prithu Maharaja said that Supreme Godhead attained the opulence of eternal fame simply by worshipping the lotus feet of the Brahmanas. Lord Krishna offered his respects to Maharaja Yudhishthira and Kunti also. Prithu Maharaja advised his citizens to follow the exemplary behavior of the Lord himself and thus engage in the service of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. According to the Vedic system, it is recommended that after performing a ritualistic ceremony, one should feed Brahmanas who can get liberation. Vedanta understanding is knowledge of Krishna. One becomes a perfect Brahmana. He is always in a transcendental position, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14.26. This devotional service is free from mistakes, illusions, cheating, and imperfection. Maharaja Prithu is the perfect example of an ideal chief executive. Prithu Maharaja invokes the blessing and mercy of the Supreme Lord with his association with devotees, Vaishnavas, Brahmanas, and cows. Citizens praise Prithu Maharaja is the part 4. The great Maitreya said, after hearing Prithu Maharaja so nicely, all the demigods, the Debisons, Pitraloka, the Brahmanas, and the saintly persons present in the meeting congratulated him by expressing their goodwill. Maharaja Prithu's father, Vena, was a sinful person, cursed to death by Brahmanas. Duty of a father to become a Vaishnava and raise his children to become Vaishnava. Even if the father falls into hellish life in his next birth, such a son can deliver him as Maharaja Prithu delivered his father. Prithu Maharaja blessed by the saintly persons to have a long life because of his unflinching faith and his devotion to the Supreme Person of Godhead. Citizens declared to be under the Maharaja Prithu were directly under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Qualified king must be merciful and compassionate to the people and see to their prime interest. Citizens offered respect to Vaishnava leader and followed footsteps. Maharaja Prithu, although situated in transcendental position of a pure devotee, can come down to the position of Brahmana and Kshatriya for the benefit of human society and gave protection to the entire world. The citizens were all very happy and satisfied. Thus, I submit my humble presentation. Thank you for your patient hearing. I request you to forgive me for any defects. Thank you.
Very good. Any questions, comments, realizations for Chandran Prabhu? All right, Chandran Prabhu has done a good job of presenting chapter 21. I will also quickly summarize chapter 21. Chapter 21 is titled Instructions by Prithu Maharaj. To welcome Prithu Maharaj, citizens decorate the city beautifully with natural items. And despite the grand welcome, Prithu Maharaj has no pride. Prithu Maharaj also reciprocated and blessed everyone. Vidura requests to again and again hear more about Prithu Maharaj's activities to set an example for ordinary kings and executive heads who should all be inclined to hear repeatedly about Prithu Maharaj's activities in order to also be able to rule over their kingdoms very faithfully for the peace and prosperity of people in general. Unfortunately, at the present moment, no one cares to hear about Prithu Maharaj or to follow in his footsteps. Therefore, no nation in the world is happy nor is progressive in spiritual understanding. Maitreya Muni describes Prithu Maharaj's rule, bodily features, and speech. Material designation create differences, but when one comes to Krishna consciousness, he immediately becomes descendant of the Supreme Lord and thus becomes transcendental to all considerations of caste, creed, color, and nationality. The qualities of Prithu Maharaj's speech are: is beautiful, is flowery and full of metaphors, is clearly understandable, pleasing to hear, is meaningful, is without any doubt, and the speech is for the benefit of all. Prithu Maharaj instructs the citizens. Prithu Maharaj first addresses the devotees in the assembly. Prithu Maharaj says that he is appointed as king, and when I execute my duties as king, and when Lord is pleased, that's when I will be able to achieve the desirable destination. Prithu Maharaj says that any king who simply extract taxes without teaching Varnashram Dharma suffers the sins of the citizens and loses his good fortune because material laws are very subtle. A king or a governor or a president should not take the opportunity to occupy his post without also discharging his duty to teach the people within the state how to observe the divisions of Varna and Ashram. If king neglects to give such instructions and is simply satisfied in extracting taxes, then those who share in the collection of the taxes, namely all the government servants and the head of the state, are also liable to share in the impious activities of the general masses. If one eats in a place which is very sinful, he shares in the resultant reaction of the sinful activities performed there. It is Vedic system, therefore, for a householder to call Brahmanas and Vaishnavas to eat at ceremonial performances in his house, because the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas can immunize him from sinful activities. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj instructs citizens to do their duties, and when the king is elevated to heavenly planets, the citizens who cooperated with the king also share the same results. Prithu Maharaj instructs that Supreme Lord is the supreme authority, and those followers of Sankaracharya, they say that we have to imagine a shape of the Lord is more dangerous than denial of the existence of Lord. Next, Prithu Maharaj explains that Bhakti Yoga diminishes our false appetite for enjoyment and lordship over the material world. Our false appetite for enjoyment and lordship of material world is due to prominence of passion and ignorance. By Bhakti Yoga, these two qualities are diminished and one becomes situated in the mode of goodness. Due to material association since time immemorial, we have accumulated heaps of dirty things in our minds. The total effect of this takes place when a living entity identifies himself with his body and is thus entrapped by the stringent laws of material nature and put into the cycle of repeated birth and death under the false impression of bodily identification. When one is strengthened by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, his mind is cleansed of this misunderstanding and he is no longer interested in material existence or in sense gratification. Bhakti or devotional service is characterized by Vairagya and Jnana. Jnana refers to understanding that one is not this body, and Vairagya means disinterested in sense gratification. These two primary principles of separation from material bondage can be realized on the strength of Bhakti Yoga. Upon hearing the instructions to do Bhakti Yoga, the citizens may ask that we are drowned in our household activities. How can we worship the Lord with pure bhakti? Therefore, Prithu Maharaj advises to do Karma Mishra Bhakti. Karma Mishra Bhakti means while doing your karma, try to have the bhakti component more and more than karma. Gradually. Prithu Maharaj advised to render devotional service by engaging your mind, words, body, as well as offering results of your varnashram duties. And Prithu Maharaj says, all you citizens worshipping the Lord based on my advice is actually your mercy on me. Prithu Maharaj glorifies the Brahmana and Vaishnavas and states that do not offend Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. We should be very careful in not offending Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. By serving the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, Lord is pleased. Although in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to render service to Brahmana because demons are taking advantage of Kali Yuga and demons have taken birth in Brahmana families. Lastly, the citizens praise Prithu Maharaj and the symptoms of one who is in goodness is described that one is elevated to the platform of goodness when he is satisfied in any condition of life and is without lust and greed. That's a summary of chapter 21. Questions, comments, realizations? All right. Chapter 22. Mother Chandra Aunty and Uncle are going to present.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I am going to present the entire
Okay.
chapter. I am privileged. Hare Krishna. All the assembled devotees, I seek permission and blessings from you all. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara and Sri Sri Radha Krishna seeking permission and being able to speak. Should there be any shortcoming, please forgive me. By the mercy of the Lord Krishna, I am privileged to share my humble realization, Canto 4, Chapter 22, verses 1 to 63, titled Prithu Maharaja's Meeting with Four Kumaras. This chapter is having 4 headlines, which I am going to cover. The context of this chapter is Prithu Maharaja receives the guidance of the four Kumaras. His inquiries about dharma, governance, and cosmic truths. The Kumaras provide profound answers, revealing the principles of the ideal rulership and spiritual wisdom. The first title is Prithu Maharaja's Rule and Reception of Kumaras and Inquiries from them. The theme is the king's curiosity and openness to wisdom. Prithu Maharaja is known as an ideal ruler, the embodiment of dharma, righteousness, and justice. Prithu Maharaja ruled as a God-conscious emperor who ensured peace, prosperity, and spiritual discipline. His rule exemplifies ideal leadership grounded in spiritual responsibility. Though he is the supreme leader, when the four Kumaras, Sanat, Sananda, Sanat Kumara, and Kapila arrived, he humbly received all of them with humility, recognizing their exalted devotion, and they are the transcendental beings. Their wisdom is beyond the human realm and understanding that saintly wisdom surpasses political power. This moment highlights Prithu Maharaja's ability to recognize true knowledge no matter the source. Though as an emperor, he approached them as a sincere student, eager for transcendental knowledge. His sincere inquiries were meant for the welfare of all citizens, not for personal elevation. He asked the sages profound questions about the nature of the universe, governance, and how he can better be a ruler. His humility is evident as he seeks guidance from these divine beings, not assuming he has all the answers in the earth. There are two analogies from Prabhupada which I would like to share. Just as a lamppost stands firmly and lights the path of many travelers, Prithu Maharaja remained fixed in Dharma and illuminated society through saintly guidance. The second one is king's humility is like well-tended garden. It naturally attracts respect and admiration. Just as clouds provide water impartially, a devoted ruler nourishes all without favoritism. The second section is Sanat Kumara answers Prithu Maharaja's question. The theme is spiritual and administrative guidance. In response to Prithu Maharaja's inquiries, Sanat Kumara offers profound insights explaining that pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the highest goal of life. Knowledge and renunciation are perfected only when linked with bhakti, which purifies desires by engaging the senses in the Lord's service. The heart is purified and all material and spiritual duties are automatically fulfilled. Sanat Kumara explains that devotional service is the only means to transcend material bondage to achieve spiritual liberation. Knowledge without devotion cannot free the soul from repeated birth and death. Analogy: just as watering the root of a tree nourishes all the leaves, branches, and fruits, devotion to Krishna satisfies all obligations and automatically fulfills all duties and responsibilities. Second analogy: this is like the younger leader learning from an experienced mentor. Sanat Kumara guides Prithu to rule not just with power, but with wisdom and compassion. Will you kindly bear with me? The third sheet. sorry, Hare Krishna, forgive me. The third section is Prithu Maharajas praises the four Kumaras. The theme is recognition of divine wisdom. King Prithu glorifies the four Kumaras as the highest examples of pure devotion. Though eternally liberated, they voluntarily engage in devotional service, showing that bhakti surpasses liberation. Prabhupada's analogy is just as a healthy man willingly accepts the discipline to gain perfection, the Kumaras accept devotion voluntarily out of love. The Supreme Lord, though self-satisfied, is controlled by the devotion of such pure souls, like a father touched by a child's affection. Holy places gain true sanctity, and the presence of the devotee is like electricity powering a wire. Association with the devotees is like matchstick igniting fire, awakening dormant devotion. The essence of this, devotees like the Kumaras are the Lord's greatest treasure. Their love awakens bhakti more than rituals, austerities, or scholarly knowledge. The fourth section is Prithu Maharaja's glorious rule and qualities. The theme is ideal leadership and ongoing inquiry. Prithu Maharaja embodies the devotions he glorified. His governance is karma yoga perfected by bhakti, fully engaged yet detached like a lotus leaf in water. He never claims ownership, understanding that all belongs to Krishna, like a trusted manager overseeing a treasure. Humility purifies his heart. As Prabhupada explains, ego is like dust on a mirror. Service to Krishna cleanses it. His renunciation is timely like ripe fruit falling naturally, showing that devotion matures action and withdrawal harmoniously. His rule elevates citizens materially and spiritually, proving that true welfare is awakening God consciousness. The essence of this chapter, high devotion is expressed through humble leadership, loving duty, and perfect renunciation. The four Kumaras show the ideal of pure devotion. Prithu Maharaja demonstrates its practical application in governance. Devotion is not escapism, it is offering every action in Krishna's service. Conclusion, this chapter teaches us that devotional leadership harmonizes knowledge, humility, and responsibility, ensuring both spiritual and social welfare. Hare Krishna.
Any questions, comments, realizations for Uncle? All right, I will present chapter 22 summary. Chapter 22 is titled Prithu Maharaj's meeting with the four Kumaras. With the exemplary reception of Kumaras, teaching is how should one receive a saintly person at home. Prithu Maharaj is an ideal Vaishnava king. Therefore, he taught others by his personal behavior how to receive and respect saintly persons like the Kumaras. When a saintly person comes to one's house, it is Vedic custom first to wash his feet with water and then sprinkle this water over the heads of oneself and one's family. If saintly person goes to the house of even an unimportant person, such a person becomes glorious by the blessings of the saintly person. It is therefore the Vedic system that a householder invite a saintly person in his home to receive his blessings. If a householder is to receive a saintly person, he has to also receive his entourage also. Every householder, regardless of his position or economic condition, can at least receive saintly guests with great devotion and offer them drinking water, because drinking water is always available. If there is no water, then one can offer a sitting place, even if it is straw mat. And if one has no straw mat, he can immediately cleanse the ground and ask the guest to sit there. Supposing that a householder cannot even do this, then with folded hands, he can simply receive the guest and saying, "Please welcome." And if he cannot do that, then he should simply offer obeisances, his whole family, wife and children. Fortunate householders give worthy reception to saintly persons, while unfortunate householders, who in spite being rich, do not welcome saintly persons in their homes. Prithu Maharaj praises the Kumaras and inquires from them and says it is rare to get darshan and it is rare to understand their teachings. The Kumaras kept themselves as small children for about 4 or 5 years old, because by growing into youth, one's senses become disturbed and celibacy becomes difficult. Prithu Maharaj talks about the good fortune for all, but does not talk about the welfare of Kumaras, because Kumaras are always auspicious by dint of their life of celibacy. Prithu Maharaj's question that while in the material world, what is the means to soon achieve the ultimate goal? The Kumaras answer that attachment to the Lord and detachment from bodily concept is the solution, because attachment to sense gratification is the cause of samsara. Attachment to the Lord and detachment from bodily concept can be developed by understanding and following these points. The points are having faith in the Lord, being inquisitive about the process of bhakti, applying bhakti yoga in life, worshipping the Lord or the topmost devotee of the Lord, regularly hearing and chanting the Lord's glories, not associating with persons who are simply interested in sense gratification, not associating with associates of materialists, and not accepting their goals, being disgusted with the taste for sense enjoyment, being satisfied in the self, molding one's life so that one cannot be peaceful without drinking the nectar of Lord's qualities and pastimes, being non-violent, following in the footsteps of great acharyas, remembering and tasting the sweetness of Lord's pastimes, not criticizing others, simple and plain living and tolerating dualities. These are some of the points by which attachment to the Lord and detachment from bodily concept of life can be developed. Hearing process is the solution to get attached to the Lord and detached from matter. Result of attachment to the Lord is the destruction of subtle body and of material attachments. Thus, one no longer sees external sense objects for own sense pleasure. There is no internal disturbances such as lamentation, and there are no obstacles in seeing Paramatma. All these obstacles which existed previously. Srila Prabhupada also explains that instead of criticizing other religious systems, devotees should encourage the followers of other religious systems to stick to their principles so that gradually they can come to the platform of religion in goodness. So all this, Kumaras are explaining, is about bhakti mixed with jnana. The Kumaras realize that Prithu Maharaj's distaste for such bhakti mixed with jnana. Therefore, Kumaras then speak about pure devotional service, that one can give up the inferior desires by being engaged in superior desires of devotional service. Lastly, Prithu Maharaj praised the Kumaras, gave up everything and said that all this knowledge is non-repayable debt. And the last thing the chapter describes, the glorious rule and qualities of Prithu Maharaj. That's a summary of chapter 22. Questions, comments, realizations. All right. So as I said at the start, for next week, we have devotees lined up for the presentation. For Shalini's presentation of Canto 4, Chapter 24, verses 69 to 79, somebody can be a backup. And even if Shalini does the presentation, the other devotee can do that same presentation again. Any questions, or are we okay to stop here?
Prabhuji, this is a small clarification. That is, the Kumaras senses are 4 to 5 years old, so that there is no deviation you are mentioning. Would you like to a little more cover on that?
Yeah. So you can judge for yourself that when we all were young, we did not focus so much on sense gratification. Like even today, take the simple example of, say, eating. If you give a child food to eat, he will eat as much as he needs for his satisfaction, and then he will stop eating. He will be satisfied. Versus when you grow up, you like to eat more and more and more and more something that you like. Meaning, as you grow, the senses get more agitated, more dissatisfied, even though you are trying to satisfy the senses. Trying to satisfy the senses acts as fuel to fire. Therefore, the Kumaras, when Brahmaji asked them that procreate and populate the universe, the Kumaras said, no, we want to stay as 4 or 5 years old because we want to live a life of celibacy. So that their senses do not get entangled, or senses do not cause them entanglement. in the material world. It's the senses. So we have discussed this in chapter 2. Should be 2.67. That
You are right.
because of the senses, we go into the material world storm. Does that help you?
Thank you. It's a good revision and good example, both child as well as Y Kumaras
All right.
preferred to have the senses for living the life of celibacy.
All right. Good, very good inquiry. All right, we are very close to 12 noon time, Toronto. We'll stop here. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Thank you.